My mother gave me a name that she could never pronounce. When I played outside and it was time for dinner, she'd yell, "Rinda, come home!" When the phone rang and she picked up, she'd shout, "Rinda, for you!" She was Japanese, and she couldn't say the short I sound or the smooth L. Neither existed in her language. Unkind as it sounds, her accent embarrassed me, so I made sure to sound as good as possible. I took public speaking, joined my college radio station, got a job in broadcasting right after graduation, and 2 decades later, found myself on a short-lived midday TV talk show in Syracuse. My mother was my biggest fan. She'd go to the senior center for lunch and make everyone watch my show. "See that? That my daughter, Rinda Rowen." She was proud, but she was critical. Probably a Japanese thing. You know, be self-effacing. Don't draw too much attention to yourself. She'd compliment me, then smack me down. "Rinda, you're so smart, but you're so fat." Or, "Rinda, you good writer, but you lousy housekeeper." It was true. She was in incredible shape, so young-looking she could shave 10 years off her age. When I hit adolescence, she fretted. "You too old for my daughter. Nobody believe I so young. So, you call me sister now, okay?" She was a spotless housekeeper, couldn't understand why I left a mess in my wake. How come big, sloppy girl like you come out of me? She came from a country where everyone was unfailingly polite. Whenever I disappointed her, she'd announce my biggest shortcoming: "You not Japanese." She was a real show-off. When my kids were little, she came along to the beach for a preschool family outing. Us mommies wore skirted swimsuits to hide our bellies and thighs. She showed up in a yellow bikini. During juice and snack time, she dropped and did 100 crunches in front of everybody. Totally shameless and smoking hot. My mother was strong, a handful for my Jewish American father, who'd met and married her in Japan. He brought her to the States, picturing a quiet little Asian wife. She was adventurous, willful, independent. After her first encounter with public transportation, she came home complaining. "I get to bus stop. Signs say no standing. How I get on bus if I no stand?" She made pancakes that turned out flat and gummy. My father asked, "What did you put in them?" "Milk, flour, eggs. Recipes say baking soda. Coca-Cola, drinking soda. So Pepsi, baking soda, right?" She learned to drive, became an excellent cook, but still stumbled over the language barrier. Over time, she grew blunt. Fewer words meant fewer misunderstandings. My skinny friend Don once felt my mother grab his butt. "Don, you always have flat ass, but tonight, so nice. What happened?" He turned red. "Mrs. Lowen, that's my wallet." She made me turn red with her candor. "You know buy first car you drive, right? How you know good car before you drive many? So, you no marry first man you sleep with, right? I didn't do drugs because she told me all about her acid trips. I didn't have unprotected sex because she said, you get pregnant, you bring baby to me. I raise as your sister. Ugh. By the time I got married, my mother was itching to be a grandmother. What she got was motherhood round 2 at age 65. I had an infant and a toddler when I was diagnosed with ovarian cancer at age 33. I also had a hysterectomy, months of chemotherapy, and little energy to care for my daughters. My mother stepped in and was so devoted, the girls started calling her mommy. Eventually, we all called her Aka, the Japanese word for red, her favorite color. I recovered, and Aka remained a fixture in their lives. Then, 10 years later, her own diagnosis, liver cancer, terminal, 5 to 7 months. Defiant as always, Aka lived 18 months. Not long enough to see the girls go to prom, graduate high school, enter college, but long enough so that her influence is still felt. If Aka could see them today, she'd see aspects of herself. M is 22, Japanese in spirit. She rolls sushi at Wegmans and is the good daughter my mother wanted me to be. Jay is 24 with Aka's strength and fearless spirit. She lives in the Rockies, a park ranger, a true trailblazer. Me, I'm still fat. I'm still a lousy housekeeper, but I've been working on a memoir about growing up as a Japanese-American, Jewish-American princess. And if I am half as smart and half as good a writer as my mother believed me to be, perhaps my book has a chance. I may not be Japanese, but I am Rinda Rowen, my mother's daughter. And because of her, I have one hell of a story to tell.